Hello, and welcome back to another episode of My Book of Mormon. So this will be episode 19, one away from the big 20. We're almost grown-ups. So let's see, we've had, I got quite a bit of communication since the last episode, and so I want to thank everybody for either posting to the website or all the retweets and the Facebook posts and the emails. It's been great. I'm telling you, I love getting them. So a few I actually wanted to point out. So one comment that was left on the website for the last episode 18, from Will Roberts. And Will, I'm saying your full name because you used your full name on a public website comment, so I assume that you're okay with it. So, but first of all, thank you, Will. Will actually did give me the correct pronunciations for all of the names from the last episode. One of them, the guy I kept calling Sherem, apparently it's supposed to be like Sherem. Yeah, Sherem, I think is how it's supposed to be. And but he did confirm that I don't really need to remember that because he's gone. That character's done. So my assumption was right. The one that really surprised me was Enos, right? E-N-O-S. Apparently it's supposed to be Enos. Yeah, Enos. He said it rhymes, it sounds like penis without the P. And I was like, how is E-N-O-S Enos? But anyway, I think he may still come up later, so I'm going to try and remember to say Enos and not Enos, even though I don't understand why it's an O and not an I. It's weird. Weird spelling. And, so that's what we got from Will, so thank you, Will. Next comment left on the website, which I thought was great, was from Duke of Earl Grey, who actually said, hey, listen, when you kind of breeze past that 179 years that passed, right? And he goes, but you should probably pause on that for a second. So he actually did the math for me and kind of said, it said 179 years since Lehi left, but we were only talking about, 2 generations like 2 generations of people since then. And he's like, okay, how could that have worked? Right? So you either would have had Jacob living to be 90 and at his death, or Enos, I guess, would have been like 10 or something like that. And so how could he have learned all this profiting stuff? And then he would have had to live to be 90. It was interesting. So if you want to see it, go to the website, click on episode 18, and you'll see these 2 comments there. So I thought, thank you, Duke, and thank you, Will. It was great insight. So I love when I get that stuff after an episode because it makes me think back and go, oh, okay, yeah, that makes a little more sense now. Let's see. Then we also got, just today, I got an email from Scott, and Scott actually said, hey, instead of just saying Mimo, why don't we give it a little Book of Mormon spin, and let's call them the Mimoites, right? So we had Nephi and Nephites and Laman and Lamanites, and then maybe we should have Mimoites, right? Maybe that's a thing. So if you like Scott's idea, email me, let me know, or put it on the Facebook, whatever. If you think Mimoites is better than Mimos, then I'll run with that. I don't know that I have an opinion one way or the other. I guess Mimos is quick, right? It's easy to say, just Mimos, yeah. But Mimoites does, it's funnier, I think. So I'm a little torn. One is the more simplistic, easy to remember, but the other one is a bit funnier. So anyway, we'll see. We'll see what the Mimos out there, or Mimoites, depending, have to say about it. But yeah, so we'll figure that out soon. The other thing I wanted to say is that I'll tell you, Mimos, you guys are so like entertaining in and of yourselves, right? So all the stuff that you post, it's like you have me cracking up. And so one of the areas that I actually can't really interact with you are the reviews, right? But I encourage everybody listening to go to the Apple iTunes store and click on the show and read the reviews that people have left, because some of them are just so entertaining and so funny. I don't want to go and read them all on the air, but yeah, I'm telling you, it's very, if you haven't done that yet, it's always a good thing to do, because I'm telling you, we've got some creative people that listen to this show, and yeah, what they give back, even if it's just in the form of a review, is really funny stuff. So thanks to everybody that's gone and done that. Not only does it help, spread the word of the show, because it keeps the show up in the rankings and all that, but it's also just really entertaining. So it just kind of, I don't know, makes my day when I see a new review, especially when they're as entertaining as some of the ones that we've gotten recently. Lastly, I want to thank Scotty, who replied to someone else's post on episode 16, the Mimo special. So I'm not going to tell you what it said. You're going to have to go read it for yourself. But Scotty, thanks for having my back. That was a pretty cool thing you did. So thanks. All right. The very, very last update, and this one I assume everyone just already knows, is that I changed the cover art for the show. So I went with yellow ink instead of red ink. And the reason I did that is because when it's small, like a little thumbnail, you couldn't even tell. It just looked like the cover of a Book of Mormon. And I didn't want to be accused of false advertising, right? Like having a show that looks like it's actually a, faith-based show on Mormonism when it's really not. So I changed it to yellow so that it would be more, I guess, obvious in small size that this is a doctored, face of the book. So anyway, that's why I did it. I know when I see it bigger, when I see it like in full size, I'm like, I really did like the red better. But anyway, for it wasn't worth it because of the confusion it was causing. So we've gone with yellow. Thanks to everybody on Facebook and Twitter that took the time to kind of vote on it. And overwhelmingly, the MIMOs said yellow's the way to go. I actually think I only got one other person that said I liked red more. So for that one person, thanks for agreeing with me. But it seems like everyone else outnumbered us quite a bit. So it's, I guess the way it looks now with the yellow writing over the Book of Mormon is probably what we're going to stick with. All right. So many updates. And, I think it's time to start reading. I almost forgot that I had a book to read. I've been talking for so long. All right. So where are we? Oh, yes. We're about to read the Book of Omni. And, Omni is Enos's kid, right? Enos. It looks like Enos, but he's not. He's Enos. All right. So this is the son of Enos, who is the grandson of Jacob. Am I right? I think. No, we missed one. Son of Enos, who was the son of... No! Jerem, I forgot about him. Yeah, okay, sorry. Ugh, I'm really screwing this up. Omni's the son of Jerem, who is the son of Enos, who is the son of Jacob. Whew, I think that's it. Yeah. So, Omni is Enos's grandson. Yes. And Jerem's son. Whew. All right. I think I got it. Okay, here we go. Behold, it came to pass, drink, that I, Omni, being commanded by my father Jerem, that I should write somewhat upon these plates to preserve our genealogy. Wherefore, in my days, I would that ye should know that I fought much with the sword to preserve my people the Nephites, from falling into the hands of their enemies, the Lamanites. But behold, I of myself am a wicked man, and I have not kept the statutes and the commandments of the Lord I ought to have done. Then it came to pass, drink, that 276 years had passed, and we had many seasons of peace, and had many seasons of serious war and bloodshed. All right, so let's see here. I don't even know if I want to do the math. I think I'll just leave it for the Duke. The Duke can do the math for us. But that does 276 years, and this is what, third or fourth generation, something like that? That I think the math is still sounding rough. So Duke, maybe you could fill in how that's possible, or even if it is. Doesn't sound like it is. All right. Although here's the weird thing. It just says 276 years had passed away, but it doesn't say from when, right? It just said 276 years. Like from what point? I don't know. Anyway. Okay. So they had some seasons of peace, but then also some seasons of nasty war. Again, I sure wish they would give us the details of those wars, but what are you going to do? All right. Yea. Drink. And, how do you say it? Yea and in fine. There you go. Yea and in fine. 282 years had passed away, and I had kept these plates according to the commandments of my fathers, and I conferred them upon my son Amaron, and I make an end. What? You didn't even make a start. What? That was lame. So Omni said, I'm going to take the time to engrave into some gold plates that my dad asked me to keep these plates. There was some war and some peace, and now I'm done. Thanks. I can't believe Omni got a book named after him, and that's all he had to say. That was pretty lame. He was not a fan. He was just not a fan of this gold plating stuff. I think he was like, what is the minimum that I can put down? All right, well, there you go. Behold, it came to pass. Drink. Oh, wait, I missed a verse. Sorry. If you already drank, then you don't have to when I read it again, but I have to go back a verse. And now I, Amaron, write these things, whatsoever I write, which are few, in the book of my father. Behold, it came to pass. Drink if you missed it, but if you already did, you can skip it. That 320 years had passed away, and the more wicked part of the Nephites were destroyed. All right, now it's 320 years. Yeah, I see where this math starts to get funny, because it was 276, and now it's 320, so Duke's right. Time is passing faster than it should be, unless there's generations of children we don't know about. But they've been pretty specific in this genealogy. Like, this is the son of this person, who's the son of this person. So it doesn't seem like there's any skipping of generations. But yeah, 320 years. And yeah, Amaron, He must, whatever. Okay. For the Lord would not suffer, after he had led them out of the land of Jerusalem, and kept and preserved them from falling into the hands of the enemies. Yea, drink, he would not suffer that the word should not be verified, which he spake unto our fathers, saying that, inasmuch as ye will not keep my commandments, ye shall not prosper in the land. All right, so, same old, same old. Yeah, the wicked Nephites are being destroyed because they're not following the commandments. Yeah, whatever. Wherefore the Lord did visit them in great judgment. Nevertheless, he did spare the righteous that they should not perish, but did deliver them out of the hands of their enemies. It's great. So God comes and is like, I'm gonna really do something really great for the righteous. What can I do? What can I do? Can I make sure that they live in peace forever? No. Can I give them riches? Maybe that would be nice. No. Oh, I know what I'll do. I won't kill them. Yeah, that's what I'll do. What a great God. Yeah, he's like, your reward is you won't perish. Oh, thanks, God, I guess. Okay. Then it came to pass, drink, that I did deliver the plates unto my brother Chemish, I guess. Chemish? Chemish? It's either Chemish or Chemish. I'm going to say Chemish. Why not? I mean, flip a coin. I don't know which one's right, so I'm just going to say Chemish. Now I, Chemish, write what few things I write in the same book with my brother, for behold, I saw the last which he wrote, and he wrote it with his own hand, and he wrote it in the day that he delivered them unto me. Okay, he wrote like 2 verses. One of them was just like, a bunch of time has passed, and the other one was like, yeah, God did some smiting, and thanks. And it's funny, because Chemish is like, he didn't even write anything down until the day he gave it to me. So I think he was like, he started writing, and he's like, this is terrible. And he's like, here, Chemish, your turn, write some stuff. All right, he wrote on the day, yeah, he said that. And after this manner we keep the records, for it is according to the commandments of our fathers, and I make an end. Again, Chemish, you didn't even make a start. All you said was, I'm Chemish, hi, how you doing? I just want to let you know, my brother wrote down the 2 verses before this, and now I'm done. Okay. Thanks, Chemish. That was great. Really, really helpful. Okay. I don't understand what the point of any of this is. It's just like they just wanted their names in the book. You know what I mean? So they're like, oh, how do I get it? I want in. It's like, well, I can't mention you unless you write your own name in, but don't worry. I'll just hand these plates around. Behold, oh God, here we go. Abinadam. What? Abinadam. Yeah, Abinadam. That's what we'll say. Behold, I, Abinadam, am the son of Chemish. Behold, it came to pass, drink, that I saw much war and contention between my people, the Nephites, and the Lamanites, and I, with my own sword, have taken the lives of many of the Lamanites in the defense of my brethren. Good job, Abinadam. Good fighting. So he's from good fighting stock. He was smiting some Lamanites. And behold, the record of this people is engraven upon plates, which is had by the kings according to the generations, and I know no revelation save that which has been written, neither prophecy, wherefore that which is sufficient is written, and I make an end. It's great. So Abinadam, he's like, hey, I just want to write down that I kicked ass and took names with those Lamanites, took care of them. And by the way, there's a bunch of revelations and prophecies that are already written down, so I think they're good enough. I have nothing to add. Goodbye. That was Abinadam's contribution. So who's he going to give it to now? Oh, here we go. Behold, I, Amaleki, the son of Abinadam. Here we go. Next one. So how long is this going to go? It's just going to keep going for hundreds of generations. Yeah, my dad gave this to me and he told me to write something. So what's up? Peace out. Next. It's just, all right. Behold, I will speak unto you somewhat concerning Mosiah, who was made king over the land of Zarahemla. What the world? King of the land of Zarahemla. But first of all, I thought it was just Nephites and Lamanites. Now there's another land called Zarahemla. I don't know who they are. I don't know. But Mosiah is their king. This came out of nowhere. Now I'm confused. All right, for behold, he being warned of the Lord that he should flee out of the land of Nephi. Okay, a little bit of explanation. And as many as would hearken unto the voice of the Lord should also depart out of the land with him into the wilderness. All right. It didn't say why, but God came down and said to, whatever this guy's name is, Mosiah, hey, you gotta get out of the Nephite village. And then whoever was wise followed him, interestingly enough. I don't know how they knew. Anyway, whatever. And they were admonished continually by the word of God, and they were led by the power of his arm through the wilderness until they came down into the land which is called the land of Zarahemla. Okay, that's great. So now there's 3 camps. We got Nephites, Lamanites, and Zarahemlites or something. I don't know what they're called. And they discovered a people who were called the people of Zarahemla. Okay, I was joking before, but there's a people down there. Who are these people? I don't know. Now there was great rejoicing among the people of Zarahemla, and also Zarahemla did rejoice exceedingly because the Lord had sent the people of Messiah with the plates of brass which contained the records of the Jews. Alright, so Messiah, he's got the plates. It's important to keep track of these plates. and they went from the Nephite, town to the Zarahemlite people. Okay. I'm confused about these people. So I thought that America was unpopulated, and then Lehi brought his family and they populated it, right? That's what I thought. Never before in this book has it mentioned that they encountered any indigenous people. As a matter of fact, it said that the remnants of the Lamanites were the Native American people, right? Or at least among them, right? Or however they changed it, right? Anyway, so I don't know who these people are. Are they supposed to be legit Native Americans and they didn't see anyone before now? I guess that's who they are. Who else could they be? But they're really excited that they've got plates. They're rejoicing. A great rejoicing because this Mosiah guy brought the plates, and they're like, killer. Oh, but actually, he only brought the plates of brass. So this is interesting. All Mosiah has are the plates that Nephi stole off of Laban way back when. Now, it doesn't look like he has the gold plates, just the brass ones. Well, Mosiah, I think you should go back. Because the brass plates were pretty boring. That was just like Isaiah. It's torture. Gold plates are where it's at, I'm telling you. Behold, it came to pass, drink, that Mosiah discovered that the people of Zarahemla came out from Jerusalem at the time of Zedekiah, king of Judah. Oh, see, here's my problem. I keep stopping and trying to figure it out. If I just keep reading, the book will explain. So there you go. The Zarahemla are Jewish too, from way back when. Oh. And so they left Jerusalem when Zedekiah was king of Judah, and he was carried away captive into Babylon. So basically the Babylonians conquered Jerusalem. Some of them escaped, made it to America, and decided, hey, Zarahemla is a good name. Let's go with that. Interesting. And they journeyed in the wilderness and were brought by the hand of the Lord across the great waters into the land where Mosiah discovered them. And they had dwelt there from that time forth. They've been there a long time. And at the time when Mosiah discovered them, they had become exceedingly numerous. Nevertheless, they had many wars and serious contentions, and had fallen by the sword from time to time. And their language had become corrupted, and they had brought no records with them. Well, no records? You have no plates? What kind of people are you? No plates? Come on. Get some plates. And they denied the being of their creator, and Mosiah, nor the people of Mosiah, could understand them. Alright, so they can't understand these people. They can't communicate, okay? But what they do know is that they're corrupt, they don't believe in God, and they like to fight, okay? This is what we know. Yet, when they saw that they were bringing brass plates, they rejoiced. So here are these people, don't believe in God, they like to kill each other, and they can't even communicate, but somehow they rejoiced when they saw plates. I have no idea why they got excited about plates. But it came to pass, drink, the Messiah caused that they should be taught in his language. And it came to pass, drink again, that after they were taught in the language of Mosiah, Zarahemla gave a genealogy of his fathers according to his memory, and they are written, but not in these plates. Oh, thank God. Could you imagine? Reading the genealogy of this Zarahemla? That'd be fun. And it came to pass, drink, that the people of Zarahemla and of Messiah did unite together, and Mosiah was appointed to be their king. Well, there you go. So I thought they had a king. Didn't they have a king? Oh, maybe Messiah. Yeah, Messiah was the king. So Messiah was a Nephite who left the Nephite camp, found these Zarahemla people, and basically taught them all his language. And they're like, well, that was cool. Can you be our king? Messiah's like, all right, sounds good. Be king. And they gave an account of one. What in the word is that word? Coriantumr. Wow, that word is not right. They gave an account of one Coriantumr. Coriantumr. There's a missing vowel at the end because it's like T-U-M-R. It's like Coriantumr. And the slain of his people. And Coriantumr was discovered by the people of Zarahemla, and he dwelt with them for the space of 9 moons. Okay, so there's some dude. and the slain of his people. Carrying around dead bodies or something? I don't know. It also spake a few words concerning his fathers, and his first parents came out of the tower. At the time the Lord confounded the language of the people, and the severity of the Lord fell upon them according to his judgments, which are just, and their bones lay scattered in the land northward. Weird. So there was one guy, a Coriantumr, who also came from Israel-ish, or at least the, Middle East. But he came during the Tower of Babel time. Or at least his descendants did. So man, this is getting hard to keep up with. We're getting quite a few little tribes. Alright, moving on. Behold, I, Amaleki, was born in the days of Mosiah, and I have lived to see his death. And Benjamin, his son, reigneth in his stead. Alright, so we got a new king of the, I'm never going to remember this, the Zarahemlas, and his name is Benjamin, King Benjamin. And behold, I have seen in the days of King Benjamin a serious war and much bloodshed between the Nephites and the Lamanites. But behold, the Nephites did obtain much advantage over them, yea, drink, insomuch that King Benjamin did drive them out of the land of Zarahemla. So the Nephites and the Lamanite war is extending into the borders of Zarahemla. And, but Benjamin, I guess, I don't know which side he's on. The Nephites did obtain much advantage over them, insomuch that King Benjamin did drive them out. So I think the Zarahemlas are allied with the Nephites, sounds like. I think. Could go the other way though. But it's just odd, because the Zarahemlas, they were not the Zarahemlas, but the, Mosiah, fled the Nephite tribe. He ran away from him for some reason, because God commanded him. So I don't know when they became buddies again, but it sounds like, if I'm reading this right, the King Benjamin, who is the king over the Zarahemlas, is allied with the Nephites in the battle for control with the Lamanites. Okay. Then it came to pass, drink, that I began to be old, and having no seed, and knowing King Benjamin to be just a man before the Lord, wherefore I shall deliver up these plates unto him, exhorting all men to come unto God, the Holy One of Israel, and believing and prophesying, and in revelation, and in the ministering of angels, and in the gift of speaking in tongues, and in the gift of interpreting languages, in all things which are good. For there is nothing which is good, save it comes from the Lord, and that which is evil cometh from the devil. Alright, so a couple things to break down here. First off, too bad that this guy, Amaleki, I guess? Yeah, Amaleki. He has no seed. So I guess he's shooting blanks there. Didn't have any seed. So because he had no seed, he decided before, this is just being handed down to everyone's son, but he has no seed. So he's got to give it to the king of the Zarahemlas for some reason. So that's where that's going. And then I love at the end here, if something's good, it comes from the Lord. If something's evil, it comes from the devil. Okay. And although that's kind of, is this really a monotheistic view? Right? Because it's kind of saying that there's actually two gods. There's a good God and a bad God. The bad one's called the devil. But it sounds like he has power, so he's very God-like. He can create evil things. So yeah, what would that be called? Like a dualistic? I don't know. There's probably a word for it. Someone that believes in two gods. But that's what this sounds like. It's more of the yin-yang kind of belief system. Or is it yin-yang? Yin-yang? I don't. Somebody will send me an email to correct it. Anyway, now behold, my beloved brethren, I would that ye should come unto Christ, who is the Holy One of Israel, and partake of his salvation and the power of his redemption. Yea, drink, come unto him, and offer your whole souls as an offering unto him, and continue in fasting and praying, and endure to the end. As the Lord liveth, ye will be saved. Alright, so you're going to go to Jesus, and then he's like, hey, you want eternal salvation? You're like, yes, what does it cost? Your whole soul. I need your whole soul. Every bit. Don't hold any back. Give me all of your soul. And now I would speak somewhat concerning a certain number who went up into the wilderness to return to the land of Nephi. For there was a large number who were desirous to possess the land of their inheritance. Alright. So some of these, Zarahemlas are like, hey now, we're Nephites too, right? Let's go take back the Nephite land, I guess. Wherefore they went up into the wilderness, and their leader, being a strong and mighty man, and a stiff-necked man, stiff neck. Wherefore he caused a contention among them, and they were all slain, save 50 in the wilderness, and they returned again to the land of Zarahemla. Well, that was the closest we got to a battle. So there was like some sort of rebellion of people that were going to go and take back the Nephite land. But it looks like the Nephites took care of most of them. They killed all but 50. So there's 50 of these people, and they kind of went back to Zarahemla, a little battered, war-torn. And well, that didn't work. All right. And it came to pass, drink, that they also took others to a considerable number, and took their journey again into the wilderness. So they came back to Zarahemla just to get more troops, I guess. Now they're back in the wilderness, living in tents. And I, Amaleki, had a brother who also went with them, and I have not since known concerning them. Okay? So he's like, my brother left with these rebellious people, and haven't heard from him since. What are you gonna do? And I'm about to lie down in my grave, and these plates are full, and I make an end of my speaking. There you go. So that was the end of Amaleki. Yeah, Amaleki. That was a fun name. All right, that was the end of that chapter, which I don't even remember what it was called. Omni? I think it was Omni. But, boy, Omni had like 2 sentences, and then it just went to someone else. I mean, what else could you have called it? I guess you had to start with somebody. I mean, the book of a lot of people wouldn't have sounded as nice as Omni. All right. So the next chapter is The Words of Mormon. Ah, this is going to be a good one, isn't it? Because here we finally have the name of the book, that guy, Mormon. He's going to start talking. Very exciting. All right, let's dive into Mr. Mormon here. See what he's got for us. And now I, Mormon, being about to deliver up the record which I have been making into the hands of my son Moroni, behold, I have witnessed almost all the destruction of my people, the Nephites. Well, it seems like we really just jumped way ahead, didn't we? I mean, where did he come from? Like, up until now, every time they mentioned a new character, it was either like, this was my son, this was my brother, and all of a sudden it's just like, I don't know how much time has passed, but now we got this guy named Mormon, came out of nowhere. We already know about his son. Well, we know about his son's ghost, right? It comes back and visits Joseph Smith and all that fun stuff. Moroni. But, yeah, Mormon, I don't know who he is, where he came from, but apparently he has witnessed almost all the destruction of the Nephites. Man, they really skipped a lot. Because just before this, we were told Nephites are doing pretty well, right? They were, they teamed up with the Zarahemlas, and they were taking care of business. But now, something happened. They're not doing as well. All right. And it is many hundred years after the coming of Christ that I delivered these records into the hands of my son. Holy crap. After Christ? So we went from like 400 or 300 BC. Now we're all the way up to like several hundred years AD. Oh man, they really skipped a lot. This is bullcrap. All right. And it supposeth me that he will witness the entire destruction of my people. So he's like, yeah, there's only a few of us left, and I assume they're going to die. This is not going well for the Nephites. What are you going to do? But it took a while. So they held their own for quite a while, it sounds like. But may God grant that he may survive them, and that he may write something concerning them, and somewhat concerning Christ, that perhaps someday it may profit them. Well, so he's saying, I think all the Nephites are going to die. That's my guess. But I'm hoping that God will save some. That's what it's saying. And that he'll give them some good advice, too. Yeah. But, yeah, I think they do get destroyed. If I remember, like the very first episode, it said that only the Lamanites survive. So, yeah. And now I speak somewhat concerning that which I have written. For after I had made an abridgment from the plates of Nephi down to the reign of the king Benjamin, of whom Amaleki spake, I searched among the records which had been delivered into my hands, and I found these plates, which contained this small account of the prophets, from Jacob down to the reign of this king Benjamin, and also many of the words of Nephi. Okay, hold on. Let me make sure I get this right. So, I think what Mormon is saying, hey, everything that you've read up until this point, that was me. I think that's what he's saying. That all of the entire book so far, well, at least starting with Nephi, right? So before the introductions and the testimonies, that wasn't. But everything since then was I guess like the gold plates. Mormon did all that and he abridged it. So that's interesting. So yeah, he's actually been the whole time. Everything we've read was based on what Mr. Mormon decided, that's relevant to put in, and that's not relevant to put in. So yeah, it was all his plan. Weird. Why a Brit? I mean, I wonder how long it was before. Actually, is this I think is the whole thing about Joseph Smith had to translate it twice, and the second time it was different, and he said it was abridged. I think that's what that is. If you don't know what I'm talking about, there's posts about it on the website, and you can search for it. Or you can watch the South Park episode, which also describes this. But anyway, I think, okay, way off track. Let me come back. All right. And the things which are upon these plates pleasing me, because of the prophecies of the coming of Christ, and my fathers knowing that many of them have been fulfilled, yea, drink. And I also know that as many things have been prophesied concerning us down to this day have been fulfilled, and as many as go beyond this day must surely come to pass. Oof, must surely come to pass. We won't drink. That one wasn't It Came to Pass. It was close, but if you want to drink, you can, but it's not required. Wherefore, I choose these things to finish my record upon them, which remainder of my record I shall take from the plates of Nephi, and I cannot write the 100th part of the things of my people. Okay. I don't know why, like, before they were, like, writing down the most meaningless stuff, right? So it's like, hey, I gave the plates to this guy, he's my son, and then that guy would be like, yep, I had the plates, sure enough, and I'm giving them to my son, and then he would say, oh yeah, we fought a little, and I'm gonna give the plates to my son. So it was like we had this clear chain of evidence, right? And now, Mormon comes along, and he's like, for some reason, they just stopped writing for several hundred years, because this is all I got. Yeah, that's interesting. But behold, I shall take these plates, which contain the prophecies and revelations, and put them with the remainder of my record, for they are choice unto me, and I know they will be choice unto my brethren. I'm confused now. I guess this is his record. So everything before now was kind of like his abridgment of whatever, the whole Nephi family story, and now he says he's going to combine them with his record, which I assume is this book we're reading, the Book of Mormon. Well, no, is it called Book of Mormon? It was called Words of Mormon. So the name of this book in the Book of Mormon is the Words of Mormon. Bah, that's fun to say. And I do this for a wise purpose, for thus it whispereth me, according to the workings of the Spirit of the Lord which is in me. And now I do not know all things, but the Lord knoweth all things which are to come. Wherefore he worketh in me to do according to his will. Okay. So essentially, Mormon saying, hey, I'm a prophet. Because God knows what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen, but sometimes he tells me what's going to happen. Great. And my prayer to God is concerning my brethren, that they may once again come to the knowledge of God, yea, drink the redemption of Christ, that they may once again be a delightsome people. Oh, just a minute ago, Mormon, you're like, yeah, they're all dead, and they're not going to make it. They're not, they're goners. And now he's like, but, I really hope that they see the way. Yeah, alright, so how would they still be not believing? Because, alright, if I remember, maybe I'm mixing up the timeline here, but I remember that at some point we were told that Jesus, after he was crucified, he came to America before he left Earth, right? And he talked to these people, right? The Nephites. It said he talked to the Nephites, because I remember, this is episode 1, but I remember saying, did Jesus pick the wrong tribe if he went and visited the Nephites because we knew that the Lamanites won? Anyway, blah, blah. Long time ago joke. It wasn't a joke, it was a question. But anyway, so now we have, this is a few hundred years after that. So if we're to believe that all that happened, and somehow it wasn't written down, which is annoying, unless it's coming later, in which case this book is just oddly placed in the timeline. But essentially what my question is, so you have a bunch of people, you're telling them for hundreds of years, Christ is coming, Christ is coming, Christ is coming. They won't listen, they're stiff-necked. But then Christ shows up, right? There he is. Now, if that actually happened, how would people still not believe? I mean, if he's actually there and you'd go, oh my God, I was wrong. I thought that was nonsense, but holy crap, there he is. So I don't know. Maybe Christ came and just didn't do a very convincing job. Like he's like, I'm Christ. Now, like, you're just some dude. What? When nothing special about you. Like maybe he didn't do enough miracles to convince people. But I find it hard to believe that Christ would have actually shown up in America after being crucified in Jerusalem and still people would be like calling BS on it. Anyway. Alright, here we go. And now I, Mormon, proceed to finish out my record, which I take from the plates of Nephi, and I make it according to the knowledge and the understanding which God has given me. Wherefore it came to pass, drink, that after Amaleki had delivered up these plates into the hands of King Benjamin, he took them and put them with the other plates, which contained records which had been handed down by the kings from generation to generation until the days of King Benjamin. And they were handed down from King Benjamin from generation to generation until they had fallen into my hands. Well, how did they fall into your hands? Are you a king? Are you the king? Because it said that they were handed down by the kings, generation to generation, and now Mormon's got them. So is he King Mormon? I don't know. And now I, Mormon, pray to God that they may be preserved from this time out of which my people and their brethren shall be judged at the great and last day, according to the word of God which is written. Whatever. So somehow he got the plates. I would think if he was a king, he would be calling that out, like, I, King Mormon, So I would think he would brag about that a little. So I don't think he's a king, but somehow he got the plates from the king. Maybe he pulled a Nephi there and got the king drunk and then pulled his sword out and chopped his head off and took his plates. Maybe that's what he did. That's one way to get plates. We know it's effective. It worked. And that's how they got the brass plates. Just a cold-blooded murder. Yeah. And now concerning this King Benjamin, he had somewhat of contentions among his own people. All right. So the people didn't like King Benjamin. And he was just the second king, right? The first one was the Malachi or whatever. Yeah, maybe his son was Benjamin. All right, so his people don't like him. And it came to pass, drink, also that the armies of the Lamanites came down out of the land of Nephi to battle against his people. But behold, King Benjamin gathered together his armies, and he did stand against them, and he did fight with the strength of his own arm, and with the sword of Laban. Hey, there it was, we were just talking about that. Yeah, so King Benjamin got the sword of Laban. I wonder how he got that. He probably had to chop somebody else's head off. Because, the Nephites were pretty darn proud of that sword. And Benjamin was not king of the Nephites. He was king of that, where is it? What was their name? There it is. Zarahemlas, right? So Benjamin was king of the Zarahemlas, not the Nephites. But for some reason, he somehow got the magic Nephite sword. Yeah, interesting. All right. We'll see what happens with this sword. And in the strength of the Lord they did contend against their enemies until they had slain many thousands of the Lamanites. Oof. And then it came to pass, drink, that they did contend against the Lamanites until they had driven them out of all the lands of their inheritance. Well done. All right. So the Zarahemlas, they're taking care of them Lamanites, and kicking them out. And it came to pass, drink, that after there had fallen, I read that wrong. And it came to pass that after there had been false Christs, and their mouths had been shut, and they punished according to their crimes. So there were false Christs. Maybe that's why when the real Christ came, nobody believed him. They were like, yeah, you're not the first guy that said he was Christ. We've been fooled before. Get out of here. And there had been false prophets and false preachers and teachings among the people. And all these having been punished according to their crimes, and after there having been much contention and many dissensions away unto the Lamanites, behold, it came to pass, drink, that King Benjamin, with the assistance of the holy prophets who were among his people. Wait, what? It feels like that sentence should have kept going, and it stopped. It was like, it came to pass, King Benjamin, with the assistance of his prophets who were among the people. Yep, that's it. That's all it's got. So it's like they ran out of plate. All right. For behold, King Benjamin was a holy man. He did reign over his people in righteousness. And there were many holy men in the land, and they did speak the word of God with the power and with authority. And they did use much sharpness because of the stiff necks of the people. All right. So this is back to the same old, same old. So I love that if you get out of line, or if you say anything that they consider false, then you're punished, right? So this is definitely a theocracy. Because anyone that gets up and they make a prophecy and the ruling class decides that's not a legit prophecy, they're somehow punished. It doesn't say how, but I have a feeling it was not pleasant for them. Yeah, so I don't know how they determine what the litmus test is for a good prophecy versus a false prophecy. Like, how do you know? I mean, unless someone's like prophesying tomorrow it will rain, and then it doesn't rain, it's like false prophet. Burn him at the stake. Yeah, otherwise I wouldn't know. How would you be able to differentiate? Anyway. Wherefore, with the help of these, King Benjamin, by laboring with all the might of his body and the faculty of his wise soul, faculty of his whole soul. Sorry, not wise soul. All right, so with all of his might and all of his soul, whatever that means, and also the prophets did once more establish peace in the land. All right, so somehow King Benjamin just wiped out a bunch of Lamanites that were on his territory, made sure that all of his people were doing the right thing, and basically punished whoever wasn't. And because of that, there was peace. It was great. This is very confusing to me, but that's the end of that book. Like, the book is named after this guy. Like, his name is the Book of Mormon, so you'd think that, like, he would be a pretty major character. That was it. He was like, hey, by the way, I abridged everything you read so far, and then here's what I have to say. Benjamin was pretty cool, and I'm done. That's all I had to say. Strange. Because next, the Book of Mosiah. Didn't we already have a Mosiah? The timing, the timeline has got me confused right now. I don't quite understand it. But I don't want to end this soon. It seems like a shorter episode, but I don't know if I want to get into this next one. I just don't know if I have time. Yeah, I think I'm going to stop. We'll tackle, Messiah looks long. And the reason I say it is like the first page of it, like, shows you how many chapters, and there's 29 chapters. So we're going to be with Mosiah for a while. So by the way, if I'm saying that name wrong, please tell me now. If it's not Mosiah, if it's like, no, it's Mosiah or something, like whatever. I'd like to get that one right before I tackle this book. All right. So that's going to do it. So few things I want to say. One, a long time ago, when I first started the show, I heard about this thing called Spreaker. And so I put 2 episodes up there, and then I quite frankly forgot about it. I just forgot. And then everything that I had put up was either on iTunes or Stitcher. And then a few weeks ago, I get this email that said, you have a new follower on Spreaker. And I was like, what? Oh, crap. Uh-oh. Right? So now the show is officially on Spreaker. If you know what that means, great. I really don't know anything about Spreaker. So I have to do some research to find out. But for the one person following me on Spreaker, thanks. Yeah, it's great. And then we can get the show out to more people. So yeah, it's now, when I release an episode, I've got the RSS feed set up that it will update iTunes, Stitcher, and Spreaker. And then one other person actually asked me if I could get on iHeartRadio. And so I have applied for that. It's, I don't know how long it takes. You just say, hey, can I be on iHeartRadio? So if the show gets there, then I'll let everybody know. But for now, it's not available on iHeartRadio, but hopefully it will be soon. I don't know what they're looking at when they're approving or denying, whatever. But they have it. It's in their hands to make the decision. Okay. So that's the Spreaker update. The next thing is that I was a guest with Mr. No Illusions on the Scathing Atheist podcast. Just did it today, where we had a little interview type conversation. So it was a lot of fun. He's a great guy. It's actually the very first podcast I ever listened to was a Scathing Atheist. That's actually what started me in my interest in the podcast world. So I do have Noah to thank for that, just for kind of turning me on to this community that I didn't know existed. And then, and the other thing about Noah is he's given me quite a bit of advice. Like when I actually first had this idea to even start a podcast, I was, just mentioned it to him, and he gave me tons of good advice. He was super helpful. And he didn't know who I was. I could have been someone that would make a terrible podcast, but he still took the time to write me and give me good advice and good tips. And, so Noah, if you happen to listen to this, I know you said you've listened to some of it. If you ever make it to episode 19, thank you very much. You've been a great supporter of me personally, and you're part of the reason that I'm even here doing this today. So if you want to check out the next episode of The Scathing Atheist, it will be coming out this Thursday. And if you're not listening to this in real time and say, well, this Thursday doesn't mean anything to me because I'm behind, well, then it would be episode 71 of The Scathing Atheist. If you want to hear the conversation between me and Noah, I had a lot of fun, and hopefully you guys check that out too. All right, well, that I think will do it. Again, I still haven't caught up with all the emails. I know I said on Thursday that I was going to be all caught up by now. I'm sorry. Or when was it? Yeah, it was Thursday. So I'm really going to hammer down and get those knocked out. There's so many. It's like I already know what I want to type to all of you that have written. I actually already in my head know, oh yeah, I need to send them this. I need to send them this. So it's all in my head. I want to reach back out. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. We're going to get all those emails sent. So for everyone that emails me, again, I may not reply right away, but I read them right away. And I need to just get more disciplined. The problem is it's like they pop up on my phone. So I might be at work and I'll see one and I'll read it. And I'm like, that's great, but I'm at work. So I don't necessarily have time to write back, or I might be out of the house doing something. So don't be offended or think that it fell on deaf ears. Again, I read everything that you guys post. I read everything that you guys write, obviously email me. Post to the website, put on Facebook, on Twitter. I keep up with it. I'm just not very good at responding to it. So I'm going to try and get better. All right. So thank you for your patience in advance on that. And once again, if you guys want some entertainment before the next episode comes out, go to iTunes and read the reviews that the Mimos have left. They're awesome. They're just so funny. So thank you for the creativity of the Mimos to help even the reviews be an entertaining, source for the show. All right, that is it for now. This is the end of episode 19. Can't wait to do Mr. 20, where I guess we're going to be all up in Mosiah's business when we get there. So I hope you guys like Mosiah, because it looks like we're going to be with him for quite a while. All right, it's been great, and we'll see you next time. This song is licensed for use within this podcast. All song and copyright information can be found at www.mybookofmormonpodcast.com.